Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. And if you're watching on the replay, you can still participate, leave your questions. I'm here with a really special guest today. Erik Swanson is known as Mr. Awesome, and we're going to talk about that. And I want to invite you to ask your questions, to be present, to tell us where you're coming in from. And if we haven't already met, I'm Laurel Eli, and I'm creator of Aspiring to Inspiring. I'm the business coach with a therapy background, and I love to teach people about their body-mind connection, which is their client attraction factor. And welcome, Erik, for joining us today.
Thank you, Laurel. This is awesome. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, you're coming in from my favorite city, possibly in the whole world, San Diego, California.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Venice.
Oh, well, it shifts. It shifts.
When in Rome, live in San Diego. That's what I say.
I love it. What are you sitting at? Plus 30 today, where I'm sitting at minus 30. I'd rather be with you where you are.
Exactly. I always call it, so we use Fahrenheit. I'm not sure exactly what the Celsius would be here. I always say, people say, oh, how's your weather over there? I'm like, it's boring. Don't move here. It's 75 and sunny every day. You don't want to come here.
It sucks. It sucks.
Well, I wonder what 75 is. Is that around 29 and 30 probably, or 28?
Yeah. I think it's around 25. So.
I used to live in Toronto, and it was so much fun there. I love Canada. So Are you in Canada right now?
I am in Saskatchewan, Canada. And so
is that like the Alaskan of Canada? It's
cold. Pretty much. Minus 30 is kind of can be a norm through our winter, and we have pretty much as many, but we have beautiful summers too. So I want to welcome everyone who's joining us live today. I'm here with Erik Swanson, and honestly, He's really such a great model for the journey of success. And sometimes you get a chance to come across someone who's really walked the walk and delivers straight from the heart. And Erik Swanson has done just that. He's spent 18 years working with and sharing the stages with experts like Tracy, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, and bless him, Bob Proctor, and many others that come from the best-selling book, The Secret, and is known as well as the Think and Grow Rich, the Napoleon Hill Foundation. His main mentor, Tracy, taught him the values of surrounding yourself with thinkers, educators, and motivators, which skyrocketed Erik's success in teaching others how to think, act, and grow. And I'm super pleased to invite him to be here with us today. And there's a lot more to be said about what Erik Swanson does, and we're going to talk about habit and attitude today. So that's a short intro. We can just keep going, but I want to bring you forward, Erik, and talk about, first of all, how did you get the name Mr. Awesome?
Thank you. It's always a common question people ask me. So I did not self-proclaim this. I didn't wake up one morning, although it would be a cool idea, right? Just say, hey, I'm Mr. Awesome. It was given to me by a speaker that you may or may not have heard of. So I was at an event in California, and I was getting off a stage, and at the end of my speech, people were coming up and kind of lining up, and they were going to high five me. I like to high five or give hugs, after my speech. And there was a big group just forming, and I noticed there's one person in the group that kept on getting eye contact with me, and then he started pointing at me. And I'm still on stage coming down the stairs, and he's pointing at me. And I'm thinking, and I recognized him, and he goes, and then I could hear him. He goes, "You're Mr. Awesome," is what he said. And I was like, that's so cool. And it was Les Brown. Les Brown was the gentleman that was pointing at me. So I'm thinking, all right, well, if Les Brown's going to call me Mr. Awesome, then two things happen. One is you made it, and two, maybe you should keep that nickname. And now, Laurel, it's not about me being awesome. It's about us being, Mr. Awesome is just it's just a moniker just so that we all remind ourselves we all can be awesome together. And that's key. Surrounding ourselves with amazing, like-minded, but highly like-minded people that are going to the next level. So super excited about it.
Well, and you're right. I have not met Les Brown in person. I certainly do know who he is.
Let's
and
call him right now. Should I put him on the phone?
Well, right.
Hey Siri, call Les. All right.
I could hear him, and obviously,
she's really, Siri's really calling Les on my phone. Oops. No, don't call him now. How do I stop this?
Later, we'll chat later. So
I almost called him.
So how did you come to be on stage, Erik? If you could tell us, because what were you doing before this?
Petrifyingly is what I said. How did I become on stage? I was petrified. I was so scared getting on the first stage.
But there was a journey that inspired, that moved to be on the stage. Why did you want to be on the stage?
At first I didn't really have this desire to be on stage. I didn't even think about it. I got a job with Brian Tracy, my first career. I thought his name was Dick Tracy for like a month until I figured out who he was. My friends are like, no, it's not Dick Tracy. This is,
don't call him a Dick.
Yeah, this is Brian Tracy. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't know who he is, but I had no idea. But my friends were really, there was one guy actually in specific that this gentleman, his name's Buddy Schilling, and he is a really high-end real estate mogul and broker in Austin, Texas. And I had told him about this, and I was waiting tables at the time when I met a team of Brian Tracy's, and Buddy says, wait, are you saying that you have a position with Brian Tracy? Like you can get a position right now with him? I said, yes. And I was waiting tables, right? I was serving. So I had a menu in front of me, or right, basically right here, right? He goes, let me see that menu. And I said, yes, sir. So I gave him the menu. He goes, I want you to take this menu directly to the manager right there, because I know the manager, and I want you to go ahead and give your resignation right now today and get that job with Brian Tracy. And I did just that because I trusted Buddy Schilling. And that was 24 years ago. It'll be January 5th, 25 years. And I started with Brian Tracy. I'm not sure if that was the question, but basically, how did I get on stages? I wasn't ready for stages. I had no idea what I was doing. But this isn't it interesting where other people, when life is all about where people see the brilliance in you, and even more so than you even see the brilliance in yourself. And I took this person's advice because at that point I believed more in that guy than me. And I was like, all right, well, if I believe in this gentleman and I respect this gentleman, he was like the mogul of real estate in our area. I said to myself, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this gentleman's advice. And what do I have to lose? I'm serving tables here, and this really isn't a career I want to stay in. So let me move into another one. And that's how I started. And then about 3, 4, 5 years later, I started getting onto stages because Brian saw some, I guess, brilliance in me. And he did something that's really important, I believe, that is not as common these days. What's really important, I believe, is having that leadership skills, those leadership skills that Brian had. And he innately saw brilliance in me. And instead of him saying, wait a minute, I don't want Erik to grow so that he leaves, he said to me, Erik, I'm so happy for you. You have my full support. I'll be sharing stages, I'm sure, with you in the future. That's the type of leader that you want to surround yourself with. And that's the gentleman that Brian Tracy really is.
Well, and I've followed Tony Robbins a fair bit and been in his space. And so that's a very similar type of a story too.
Yeah.
So, wow. So that's amazing. You've been on stages around the world. You've created programs that there's waiting lists for, years of waiting lists for. And let's talk about the habit and attitude and what is behind that. Where we're taking people, the audience, with that.
Yeah. Habits and attitude is all about building your life. And it's interesting how you brought up Tony Robbins. So Tony started with a gentleman named Jim Rohn. And Jim was you know, I looked up to so many amazing individuals. Like I looked up to Brian Tracy, Wayne Dyer, Jim Rohn, and my father. Those are the four major, and Dennis Waitley is amazing as well. So I always looked at these individuals and learned from them. And then I had the opportunity to actually share the stage with Brian Tracy one time over in Houston, Texas. And this gentleman calls me over, and he says, "Come here, son." And he's sitting there with his legs crossed, you know, just kind of like, and he was doing what I call the tea kettle. The tea kettle's when you put your arm like this and then you put your hand like this, right? He's just like this, right? And he's watching Brian on stage, but he's calling me over. So I said, "Yes, sir. Well, can I help you? What can I do for you?" He says, "What do you do with this guy, Brian Tracy? What are you doing? I see you running around. You're running the show here. What do you do with Brian?" And I said, I was really excited, you know, about what I was doing. So I was like, "Oh, I'm the best salesperson ever. I'm the best motivational sales guru there is for Brian Tracy. I run the whole thing." And he's like, And he asked me, he goes, "What do you really want to do?" This is what this gentleman asked me. I was like, "That's a profound question. I'm wondering if he can," much like what you do, Laurel, you know, you read, right, the physiology, you read the person's essence and the being rather than what they're saying. So I was saying one thing, but I wasn't believing it really in my mind or in my body, really. So he sensed that. And he said, "What do you really want to do with your life instead of just being here and supporting, you know, sales for Brian and so forth and training?" I said, "That's interesting." So I went away, I came back, and I said, "I figured it out, sir." And by the way, the sir was Jim Rohn. I said, "Mr. Rohn, I figured it out. I want to help people with their habits and their attitudes on a daily basis, including myself. I want to help myself with the same." And he said, "You should put that together." And I said, "Okay." So I literally put the words together, habitude and attitude, or habits and attitude, excuse me. And I came up with the word habitude. So it's together. And now it's the art of really living your daily life with great habits and great attitudes of success.
I love that. Such a great story. And it's such a great word. I'm a bit of a wordsmith too. And so the power in our languaging is everything that you've just expressed and how it creates our life. So what has been some of those moments as you've been working inside of Habitude and being a Habitude Warrior and creating all this that have been highlights for you?
Wow. Highlights in the last 20 years of Habitude Warrior? Is that what you're asking?
Well,
Oh my
there's
goodness.
got to be some things that really stand out that it's like when you stand back, it's like, wow, that's from the work that I've created. I
Sure.
get to do what I love to do, and this is how it's impacted people.
Yeah. So three things stand out right away. Number one is the story I just shared with you, the inception of the Habitude story, which is really talking to Jim Rohn right before he passed. He passed about a year after that. So that was really a turning point. That's one of the major ones. There are actually four. That's the major one. The second one is when Brian Tracy, what I call, passed the baton to me. So what I mean by that is if you have, you know, you've got the Olympics, right? And you've got the race and so forth, and you're passing the baton to the next person. Well, that was him passing the baton to me. It was taking off his headset, his microphone, and literally handing it to me at the Javits Center in New York City. That was a huge turning point in my life as well. It made me feel, you know, it was more of a turning point for me, but then for everyone around me, because then I could shine, I could go to the next step. It was like giving me permission to go to the next step. Does that make sense? So a lot of us, we as human beings, we aspire to be inspired. Ooh, good job. Aspire to grab. I know. I just wanted to throw that in there. We aspire to grab that inspiration from people that see more brilliance in us than we even see in ourselves. So that was the second turning point. The third one is when my father passed away recently, about 5 years ago. It seems like last month, to be honest with you. Still, there was I was kind of in shock for about 10 days, and then finally I woke up off of a dream. I was hoping the whole thing was a dream, and it wasn't. And then I woke up one morning and these initials, the 4 initials came to my mind, okay, when I dreamt it that night before. And the initials are NDSO. NDSO. In fact, I wear a dog tag, you know, what do you call these dog tags, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called something else. I forgot what it's called. But it actually says NDSO if you look closely, and it's no drama, serve others. And that's what came from my father, and really just he instilled that in me. So no drama, serve others, and it's all about serving others. And I know you want to dive deep into that one, but let me share one more story. Check this out. Check this out. So the other turning point story that you just asked me about, and I rarely share the story, but I should a lot more, is the time when I was in Washington, D.C. and we were doing Habitude Warrior conferences, all based on habits and attitude. We have 500 people in the audience, you know, so it wasn't, you know, they're not thousands of people. It was an intimate group of about 450, 500 people, amazing professionals, adults. Okay. And what happened is we allowed the adults to bring their kids, 2 kids, to the 3rd day of the event, okay, which was a Saturday. And we teach them what's called Junior Habitude Warrior. In fact, I think I saw the book somewhere around here. It's in my library somewhere around here. It's called Junior Habitude Warrior. And it's all about teaching kids confidence, leadership, personal development, and non-bullying, which is phenomenal, right? We need to teach our kids this. So we teach kids age 7 to 17 is the age group. And we allowed the adults to bring the parents to bring their kids to day 3. So we you know, had a great session. We teach them all this, all my famous friends, you know, like Sharon Lecter and Les Brown, and who else? Brian Tracy, Frank Shankwitz, Make-A-Wish Foundation founder, may he rest his soul. All these individuals would come over and speak to the kids on day 3 because they were right in the ballroom. So they just walked over and chatted with the kids, and it was amazing. Some of them were having like water balloon fights with each other. It's like it was so much fun. So here's the cool part about that story, though. This guy comes up to me, and I'm 6'1", he was about 6'3", I think, and he comes up to me and it says, "Mr. Swanson." And I said, yeah. I said, yes. And I'm looking up to him. Okay. And he's got this long hair, like kind of dreadlock hair. He's got a beard and you know, a goatee and a beard and so forth. And I was like, yeah, what can I do for you, sir? And I called him sir. He says, Mr. Swanson, I don't know if you remember me, but I was in your class a few years ago, and I really wanted to come back and just and say hi again. And I'm like, really? Okay. Which class were you in? I'm thinking he's a realtor, or he's in one of these. He says, no. Mr. Swanson, I was in, he kept on calling me Mr. Swanson. I was like, okay, maybe this is a younger kid or something. He goes, I'm 16 now. I'm like, you're 16? You look older than that. He goes, I'm 16 now. About 10 years ago, when I was 6, I got into to the Junior Habitude Warrior. And I was like, wow, you were in here when you were 6 years old. By the way, he must have snuck in because it was from 7 to 17. Anyway, maybe a fake ID got in.
He was a little bit tall.
yeah, he was tall back then. So he comes in and he says, I don't know if you remember, but my name is his name is Treasure. That's his name. Okay. Cool. And he says, you did something during the session and you brought up $100 bill. And he says, you did an exercise with the $100 bill on what we feel we are worth. And I won the $100 bill. And I just want to thank you for that, first of all, again, because I thanked you back then. And if you remember, I had you sign the $100 bill. And what happened was he had me sign the bill with the magic marker or something. Don't tell the government, but I defaced the bill. So here it is. And then I'm thinking, why do you want my signature on this $100 bill? This kid's 6 years old or 7. I thought he was 7. I'm thinking he's going to buy, 3 video games, or what's he going to use it for? But what he did was he took the $100 bill and he framed it. He put it in a frame, and he has a signature there and the $100 bill, and he put it on his wall, and it's been on there for 10 years. And I said, wow. And he reminded me of this story. He goes, I'd like to show that to you. I opened up the frame and I brought the $100 bill. So he brought it out and he showed it to me. He goes, would you sign the back? This is 10 years later. He wants me to sign the back. So I signed it. He goes, this is going back in my frame. Isn't that amazing?
Well, truly it is. So, and you covered several things that just go into one of
I
them.
usually do.
Yeah, right. One of the things that I didn't talk about yet in the introduction was about how many times you're a #1 best-selling author,
Mm.
and so how many books are there now? Because I think there's more than what might be posted.
Well, I'm a 13-time #1 bestseller right now in a lot of different categories. But some my books, I have 6 books of my own, and then or 5 books of my own. One collaboration book with Junior Habitude Warrior, with Laura Langmeyer from The Secret, Sharon Lecter from Sharon Lecter from Rich Dad Poor Dad, and all the different things that she's built. And then what I did was I designed this right here. Let me see if I can just grab one. There we go. Oh, here's another one of my books. I forgot where I put them. This one's called Crush and Dominate: 13 Strategies to Piss Off Your Competitors. What? So I have lots of books over here. One's on sales habitudes and so forth. But this is the latest and greatest what we built. This is a book that let me grab one more. Let me see if I can grab. Let's see this one right here. Here we go. It started with a gentleman named Dennis Waitley in our first book. So it's called 13 Steps to Riches. And what I did was I called up a friend of mine who's the president of Napoleon Hill Foundation. His name's Don Green. And I said, Don, I've got this great idea, and let's, I'd love your support on this, or at least your blessing. He's like, you got it. And we built this. I had this idea to bring in 13 is my favorite number. So I brought in 13 celebrities, which are just amazing individuals from Laura Langmeyer, Alex Stern from Constant Contact, Kevin Harrington, the Shark Tank, from Shark Tank, John Assaraf from The Secret, and the list goes on. So what we did was we have 13 actual books. So each principle, this one's on desire, because that's the first step in Think and Grow Rich. Here's a copy of Think and Grow Rich. Boom. So if you look at all the steps in Think and Grow Rich, which are the principles, there are 13 major ones. And what we've done is we went ahead and built a book series based on that to highlight each one of the steps in Think and Grow Rich. So super excited about that. And we're on, we just finished book 3, which is this one right here, which has, it's on auto suggestion.
Yeah.
And yeah, really cool stuff. So check it out. We're going to be in lots of different Barnes and Nobles all around. We're doing one coming up next week, I think, here in Southern California. So it'll be a lot of fun.
Do you invite other authors to be in the book with you too, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a very specific invite to be in the book. Yes, we have 33 authors and 13 celebrities.
Okay, so we have some common friends there, and I'm really proud of them. And maybe some of them are even watching. That's really
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say hi to them. Hello. Our awesome authors are amazing. So we're all, at the end of the day, we're all going to be 13-time #1 bestsellers after this book series. So it's going to be so cool.
Fabulous. And you get to hang out with some of the most amazing women over there too, including Laura Langmeyer and Carol Lecter. That just fantastic leaders. Sharon Lecter, pardon me. I can see her. I know who I'm talking about, but yeah, that was a little
Sharon's an amazing friend of ours.
Right. So, and I just want to say hello to everyone who's joining us live or on the replay. And if you have any questions for Erik, Mr. Awesome, please type them in, and we'll make sure that you get a response. We're live streaming to several different platforms, and I can't see where everybody's coming in from right at this moment, but we'll make sure that you get a response, because the feed will be kept live. And so you also have another an ongoing event. Would you share details and information about that?
Let's see. If you're talking about the Habitude Warrior Conference, we have, it's amazing. We bring in 33 speakers, and it's a 2-day conference, and it's all TED Talk style presentations. And we're all over the US and Canada. And we're just restarting our launch back up on the dates coming up, because, well, we had COVID for the last 2 years. So we decided to, be safe and let the world open back up gradually. And we are so excited about doing that. And the speakers are phenomenal speakers on success. What we do is we have little to no selling at the events. So have you ever been to an event before where you're sitting in the audience and you're like, oh no, what's this person going to sell me? So we decided to change that around. And now what we've done is it's all TED Talk style. So we have 33 speakers, but only 2 or 3 of them are able to offer anything throughout the whole experience. So, and the other secret is everyone gets one thing from every one of the speakers. I keep on saying authors. So that's pretty cool. So at the end of the day, they come out with just some phenomenal resources to go ahead and build their business as well as their personal life.
Yeah. Well, and so these are live events. And are you also doing offering virtual guests for that? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we've got something called the Global Virtual Summit, and it's essentially what you just mentioned. So it's basically the Habitude Warrior Conference, yet it's virtual, and we do those in between our regular ones. Our in-person ones.
Okay. Yeah. So, and you also offer you have a gift for everyone who's watching us live right now with the Ride Along Pass.
Yeah, I can do that. So it's called the ridealongguestpass.com. And just go there, ridealongguestpass.com, and you'll get 1 free session to come join us in our Habitude Warrior Mastermind, where we do these virtual masterminds. So they're all on Zoom. It's a private community. We have about 6 different groups right now that meet. We have about 100 members, and it's phenomenal. You come in there, you've got about 15, 20 people in one Zoom session that are it's a 90-minute session, and we work on counsel for you to build you and your business and your personal life. So you come in and you ask some great questions. We clarify those questions. We give you advice based on our experience rather than just random opinions or advice. So it's very different. And it's a true mastermind. So we're super excited about that. It's called the Habitude Warrior Mastermind. We also have the Global Speakers Mastermind, which is where I invite all of my really cool speaker friends, and once a month they come in and teach a masterclass on what their subject is. And then once a month we mastermind upon what we just learned the previous session. So it's pretty cool. So if you go to ridealongguestpass.com, then you'll get 1 free session to come in and check it out to see if it resonates with you. And then you can make a decision if you'd like to join for the rest of the year.
Fabulous. So I've got the address in the banner that's underneath. Nice. And yeah, and wonderful. So pardon me, I just lost the airplane going over had me thinking about flying into San Diego, Erik.
Could you actually hear it? I should keep the mic a little closer.
Yeah,
I live on a beach in Southern California on an island. What are you going to do?
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. So being that it's international, it was International Women's Day, and this month is honoring women of history. The purple in our banner is the color, the theme for that. Besides your mom, who I'm sure it is an amazing woman, would you just mention a woman of influence, someone from history or living that's impacted your life to honor Women's History Month? Absolutely.
I want to thank you for asking that. I want to just thank and honor my dear friend Sharon Lechter. Sharon Lechter has changed the world. She's changed my world just by truly being a great friend of mine. She tells me how, if I'm doing something wrong, she'll call me on it. And she usually always lets me know when I'm doing things right as well. And that's support system right there. So she's amazing. I actually have 3 of her books right here that are signed. I'm probably going to give one of them away to some of your listeners here. We'll do a contest somehow, but here you go. To Your Success, Sharon Lechter. Oh. Signed. There's Exit Rich. There's Think and Grow Rich for women.
I love that one, and that's really timely too, bringing that up. Think and Grow Rich for Women. And I've sat in on many of Sharon's live streams in her Facebook group from her home. I love listening to her.
Let's call her. Siri, call. I'm just kidding. Don't call her. But I want to mention that Sharon Lecter is so amazing and such a fantastic person to honor for International Women's Day or week or year, month, everything, right?
Always, yeah.
It's because she really knows how to uplift her fellow human near her, and that's really, really powerful. And also, she knows when to say, wow, maybe she said this to herself, maybe she's not playing as big as she needs to play. She was looking at possibly retiring a little bit. And then she said, no, the world needs us. So she's playing bigger, and she's got the play big movement now over the last few years here. So I just love that. And she's one of our dear friends. She's one, she actually, she wrote, she's a celebrity author in Faith, Volume 2 of the 13 Steps to Riches.
Well, she's an icon for so many reasons. Like you say, she's retire. Why would you want to be tired again? One of my teachers always says. She keeps going because when you have so much purpose in your life, you do it till your last breathing day. And she's just the epitome of it, for modeling for women, but also just at the end of the day, she's a good human. So thank you so much for sharing Sharon with us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna post that. I'm posting that right now on our feed too.
And Sherry Leopold is with us, and you know Sherry. I'm sure you two know each other fairly well. And I think Sharon's just a great human being. Someday I hope I get to meet her in the flesh.
Oh my gosh, you haven't met her yet?
No, well, I'm in Canada. We've been grounded, right? So soon, I hope so. And so one of the things I love to do for my guests, Erik, and this is just kind of springing this on you, is that I'm a business coach with a therapy background, and I'm trained in communications. And one of those gifts that I have is as a master face reader for the purpose of communication and understanding. So I like to read the face of my guests just to give, don't be afraid, don't run away. Some people do. And so a couple of the things about your body language messaging that attract people to you is, first of all, I want to draw attention to that great, big, broad, and open mind that you have. Your face shape shows that you have this high visual way of looking at the world. You see in big picture. Well, what you're doing there to kind of brings to this area where
market, right?
You have a great imagination. So your eyebrows and your hair shows that Erik thinks in many different directions, and you are busy in your mind, and sometimes that can be a little bit tiring for you too. It works for you, but also you like your downtime, and you need your downtime to recoup. But this high way of looking at the world is comes from a place of compassion and a humanitarian aspect. So being on stage is a really great place for you, and people are drawn to you because energetically you have this way of making people feel safe, and in a knowing that Erik's going to guide me. He's going to give me the right information. He has the right information. So just some insights for you there. Yeah.
Right answer.
Right answer. So, okay. So I want to thank everyone who's been with us live or is watching on the replay. I'm here with Erik Swanson, who's a 13-time international best-selling author. He's an inspirer and a leader, and he's been on the stage with, people who have created the stage. Any of the greats have known Jim Rohn personally, or their lives have been touched by him, and that certainly was one of your greatest influences. So beginning influences. So good for you. You were off to a great start right from the start. And today, Erik is sharing with us some of the programs. They're opening up the borders. So he's traveling with his program, the Habitude Warriors, and bringing that wisdom from the stage to the people, and you have a gift for us. And just anything else that you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah.
The stage is yours, Erik. The stage is yours.
Keep rocking, keep being you. I always say that that you want to decide to be awesome. So literally make that decision. Decide to be awesome today, and find out ways that you can be awesome for other people.
Well, beautiful. And we'll make sure that everyone has access to the Ride Along Free Pass. And just go to ridealongfreepass.com and you'll
Actually, don't go there. Go to ridealongguestpass.com.
Guest Pass.
If you go to something else, it won't go to me.
Well, they'll find you. I know that they'll find you. I just read that wrong there. So thanks so much for the correction.
No worries.
And yeah, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much to everyone who watched live, and do post your questions in the feed for us. And thank you so much to Mr. Awesome, Erik.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Laurel. You're the best. Thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure. Have an amazing rest of your day.